Think about it. You know exactly what work that you should be doing. The work is painful. You're uncertain about it. Every single second you're doubting what you need to do because you're not sure if it's going to work. And that results in pain every single time you do work. And that pain just piles up more and more and more. And let's say your discipline level is like right here. Eventually, by week 3 and the pain's starting to build up and just cross over how much discipline you have, well, now you can't do the work because the pain has overridden your discipline. Your discipline only dwindles while the pain only piles up, which is why discipline doesn't work. What you actually need is be able to commit mentally. And what I mean by committing is be able to convince yourself to just simply do the work without all the pain. Lowering the pain up front, so whatever discipline level that you have, it stays working for as long as that you want. And how do I know this commitment is actually what it is and not discipline? It's because when I used to do the discipline stuff like 7 years back, for years, I did like drop shipping, I did day trading. And what did that result in? Just pushing through and grinding for money. It resulted in losing over 80K. But now, once I switched to more of a commitment model, I make over 103K a year now, financially free, able to quit the job that I had, and also consistently making videos, 1 to 2 videos per week, very consistently for over 2 years. And keep a 6-pack this entire time. So if you want to be able to do that, you want to know all the reasons why you don't do things and be able to overcome all the excuses, overcome all the pain, so that every single time you do the work, you don't have to be anymore like, oh fuck, I just gotta grind, get through this. No matter how painful it is, you can instead go to a place where you're like, oh, I'm not doing the work because of XYZ reasons. And if I just change within myself or think through these actual excuses, then I can clear away that pain, clear away that doubt, and just commit and do the work. If you want that sustainable type of focus for whatever work that you're doing, for whatever goal that you're trying to achieve, then listen up, because it's exactly what I'm going to tell you. So how to commit. There's 2 parts to committing. It is first, like I said, clearing away that pain or being able to keep it minimal. And that's being able to figure out where you are in terms of commitment and then change yourself to be able to commit like a winner is what I'm going to call it. And then secondly is actually the act of doing the work, actually committing to the work. So to start out, the tool that I have here and I always use is the change commit matrix. You mentally figure out where you are and again, adjust yourself to be a winner. You could be at any of these mindsets at any time. Every single day that you do the work, you could be like a loser, you could be a retard, you could be insane. So what are these things? So a loser never commits to any action and never changes. It's a guaranteed loss before you even start, because if you think about it, if you don't start, you never succeed. If you never succeed, then you always fail. You're always playing your video games, you're always watching your anime, you're doing whatever the hell you do, rotting in bed, watching TikTok, and you don't change because you have a whole bunch of excuses. I'll get into them specifically in a second, but the action that you do to overcome this mindset of being a loser is you don't get stuck thinking about what to do. You just pick anything that you think might be good. You figure out the first step and you just fucking do it. Okay, easier said than done. I'll come back to it in a second. We have retards. So the mindset of committing like a retard is you do commit to action. So you actually start, but every single time some doubt creeps in, some pain comes in, you change to something completely different that you don't have a skill set in because you're like, oh yeah, I'm not getting results. And this, of course, guarantees stagnation because you're always restarting. Like you just built a little skill in this business or you just built a little momentum and be like, oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get to the end. I'll start again. So you start again and again and again, you never get anywhere. Then once you overcome that, you usually find yourself as insane. So you commit to action, but you never change. Because you were burned by all those shiny objects or whatnot, you get stuck grinding on the exact same thing and never get results. And why is this? It's because change is actually necessary. So you have to constantly think about, okay, what might you actually need to improve in whatever you're doing and just try it. So again, if you're sticking to one skill set, sticking to one topic, you do still have to change within it. Like you might have to change your business model slightly. You might have to like pivot your career a little bit or pivot your trading strategy if it's not working. Like you tried it 100 times and it's not working, then you have to change again. But once you clear all of those, then you get into state of a winner. So winners change, but only within their skill set. So they don't change too much, so they don't reset, and they commit to action, but not when it's clearly getting negative results. Like if you've done 100 cold calls already and you're getting 0 actual sales, or you've done a ton of something, you've got enough volume for sure for whatever it is that you're doing, and you're getting negative results, then you change. So if you are here, you're all set. Just keep doing more of what's working and less of what's not. But every single time you start any work, most likely you're going to start in one of these 3 mindsets, and you have to be able to mentally be able to switch to one of a winner or a way a winner commits And then that's when you can actually get started committing to your work. So starting with losers. Losers never commit to any actions and never change. And if you think about it, it's a guaranteed loss before you even start, because if you don't start anything, you never succeed in anything. If you never succeed in anything, then you failed at everything. And what I mean by never committing any action and never changing is you think you have excuses like, oh, it feels bad. Like, what if I don't like it? Or you think, what if I fail? Or, oh, what if it's just a waste of time? These three excuses typically in the mindset of a loser. And that causes you to like, oh yeah, if that is the case, oh, I'm just going to fail anyways. I'm just going to go play my video games. I'm just going to watch my anime. I'm just going to rot in bed and TikTok, and it doesn't matter anyways. But if you think about these three excuses, right? It feels bad. Well, think about you're watching anime or whatever distractions that you do, or rotting in bed, especially just looking at brain rot content. That feels bad too. But at the very least, if you do your work while it feels bad while you're doing your work, because you have this doubt, you get some satisfaction from that, don't you? You're like, oh shit, I got a lot of good work done. Sort of like you got a good workout done. So if you're going to feel bad anyways, might as well do something, might as well gain some experience. And that's sort of leads into, what if I fail? Well, if you failed, you're just going to be right back to where you started, playing your video games, watching TikTok in bed and rotting away. Literally the state that you are in is already one of failure. Therefore, in this loser mindset, at least try something, and again, just get the experience. If you fail and you don't get the results that you're looking for, well, you do have a result. You have the realization that whatever you did didn't work, so you can not try it again, and also whatever skills that you built out from whatever work that you have been doing. And then what if I waste time? Well, what are you doing alternatively? Watching anime and playing video games and rotting in bed? Is that a good use of time? No, it's not. Which is why, again, just doing the work and just committing to it is the better option. So now, if you just start something, simply don't get stuck thinking about what to do, and just pick anything that you might think is good, figure out whatever the first step is, and just do it. That will get you into more of the winner mindset, but it's not quite there yet. Even after you cleared all those excuses and you realize that, oh, the failure that I imagined, the downsides to it were way blown out of proportion, you still might get trapped into thinking like a retard or committing like a retard. So now that you're no longer a loser, you do commit to some action. So you start something. You're like, okay, and you start getting work. But the problem is you change to something completely different in a different skill set due to not getting results. And if you think about it, this is the classic shiny object problem. While you're committing to doing work, you're not committing to anything, because over time, the pain of, oh, I'm not getting results builds up, or I'm not sure if I actually like this and I can continuously do it, so I'm just going to fail in the long term anyways. Then you switch to something else because, oh yeah, the grass is greener on the other side. I see some 12-year-old making millions of dollars in dropshipping or AI agency, so I'm going to go over there and do that instead. It's a completely different skill set. You can't go from like day trading to AI agencies to dropshipping. You're restarting from zero every single time. Again, not committing to any particular skill set, which means you never really get anywhere. And the I might not get results part, right? Or I'm not sure if I'm going to like this. So the two problems of I'm not getting results or I'm not sure if I'm going to like this. Well, if you don't like it, you probably shouldn't commit that long anyways. Just within a couple of weeks, figure out, okay, if I don't like this, then don't do it. If you do like it, then okay, continually do it. So then it just comes down to the problem of getting results. If you're doing it for like months at a time and you already know that you like it, so you already know that you can enjoy it for the long term, and this is something that you can pursue very long, you think you might not get results, so you change to a shiny object. The way you know for a fact that you can get results and you can clear away this doubt, this pain in your mind, is see, okay, well, what other people are doing this business model? Are other people trading like this? Are other people in this career? Do other people have this exact business model or something very similar? If they are getting results, then that means you can get results. You just haven't yet built up the skills in order to get those results yet. So once you realize this, then you can commit to just, oh, I just need to build up skills and then I'll get results because I know there are results out there because you already validated it. You clear that little piece of doubt in your mind. So then again, you don't have to use your discipline, which is why the action here is just to commit to one skill set so you can build it up and actually get the results. So you're no longer a retard. And then once you clear up being a retard, so you're able to build some skills, The problem now is you might be committing like an insane person. So insane people commit to action but never change. What I mean by this is you get stuck grinding on the same thing that never gets results. So you realize like, oh, I just need to keep working and then I'll get results eventually. I build up the skills and I'll get results. But literally, let's say you do 100 cold calls and you get no calls back. Well, think about it. It doesn't work. You got negative results. Whatever you're doing doesn't work. You need to be able to be flexible inside. In this mindset, you're usually thinking things like, oh, I just need to put in the hours. You can put in as much hours as you want. You actually have to be good at what you're doing. You actually have to be helpful if you're running a business. So realize that change is necessary. Constantly think about what you might need to improve and just try it. So is it a volume problem? Think to yourself. Or is it a process problem? So again, back to the cold calls example. If you're doing like 2 cold calls and it hasn't worked, it's probably a volume problem. You haven't done enough of it yet to actually experiment enough and see if it really works or doesn't. Although if you have done enough volume, so of course, depending on the action, I'm just using cold calls as an example. You have to figure this out yourself based on your skill set. If you've done 100 cold calls at this point and nobody's calling back, or nobody's going forward, then of course it's a process problem. Something in your script is messed up or the way you're speaking that you have to change now. If you keep going now past the 100, you're insane. You're just repeating the same thing over and over again that you know doesn't work. So make the subtle changes. If you can overcome all of those mental excuses that are just overblown in your mind about failure, about not getting results, about having to just grind, then you can get into one of a winner, which is to change, but only within your skill set, and commit to action, but not when it's clearly getting negative results. So if you're here, you're all set. Just keep doing more of what's working and less of what's not. As you get better at climbing this hill to becoming a winner in terms of commitment, it's probably going to be very easy. Like you're not going to find yourself as a loser much, but sometimes as the pain builds up again, it might beat you back down to being like a retard or beat you back down to being insane. And you have to just on the daily basis, probably whenever you try to commit to do work, you have to get yourself back into that winner space. And that winner space right here is where you can actually start to do work. Unless you're here, don't start to do work, because if you stay doing work as a insane or retard or whatever, again, that pain is going to build up and surpass your discipline. You have to be in the winner's mindset to keep it low. Once you're here, you're good at being here, and you're able to return back here from wherever you are, then that's when you actually commit to the work. So the tool that I had there to now finally commit to the work is what I call the Incline Rule. And you also have to just realize that it won't get easier. There always is going to be some pain to your work, and you can continuously do the work by knowing that you'll be able to do more with less effort. So what I mean by that is you'll slowly acquire skills as you walk the path of your mission. So as you do every single task and you make progress, once you reach a point where you can like theoretically scale a cliff with ease for someone else is when you get results. Typically, you get the most skills from doing the most uncomfortable task or doing the hardest thing, right? Like think about exercising. You're not going to get stronger by curling a 1 pound dumbbell. You have to actually do something sort of hard. So do the most uncomfortable thing. That is likely the most effective thing to actually commit your focus on. In order to get to a place like that, again, you have to be in this winner's mindset, because the commitment is what keeps that pain low, enables you to work in the long term. But of course, your goal is way out here while you're still over here, just mentally committed. You still have to travel this entire path in order to actually reach your goal. And how I like to think about it is just this mental commitment, the change in commit matrix that you go through and get yourself to the committing like a winner. That's like going to Everest base camp. And then from Everest base camp, of course, you have to go there in order to climb Everest, right? So you have to go to this like commitment base camp in order to climb the Everest that is your goal. Over time, you're going to get better at like coming to commitment base camp essentially. And you're probably not going to have as much trouble as being a loser. Think about it. You can be a retard at times. You can be insane at times. Just keep doing the same thing that doesn't work or feeling like switching to a shiny object. But you get to that mindset of a winner. And that's when you can start to commit to the work. Continuously following this process is when you like reach checkpoint number 1, checkpoint number 2, checkpoint number 3. And of course, it's not like like Everest, where you actually have to do the whole thing at once. Every single time you come to the commitment base camp, you go back to your last base camp, so the last task that you did, and you start from there. And you slowly, the closer you get to your end goal over here, this is the more skills that you're building up, so the more value that you can provide. And eventually, again, once you reach over here, that's when you build up enough skills through this incline rule. So be able to scale the most steep parts of your mission is when you can start to profit, and that's when you actually get the financial freedom. You're going to encounter roadblocks in Everest, like you are walking along and oh shit, like an ice path fell down, or like there's a crevice or something. Well, to be not insane, you just go around it, right? And you also don't want to be retarded and like go on a fully new trail. You're probably going to die and like fall off a cliff, right? If you're in Everest. And you also don't want to be inactive while you're climbing or anything like that, because of course you're just going to die in the mindset of a loser and never reach that financial freedom. Keep walking the path and building up the skills. And usually, I mean, in Everest, of course, you don't want to take the hardest path. You want to take the easiest path. But when you're working, you want to take the most uncomfortable path, or the highest value path is another way to think about it. Typically, the most uncomfortable task that you can work on is the highest value, or the one that moves you furthest along. So that's the one that you want to take. Just realize most people get stuck here. They don't know how to commit, and they don't commit. And that's because they underestimate how long or how much effort it takes to actually build yourself into someone that can be financially free, someone that can actually do this active committing to get to the financial freedom. Now you just have to realize that most people get stuck here because they underestimate how long and how much effort it's going to take to build yourself into someone that can commit and actually get to that financial freedom. Someone that can actually stay the course long enough to climb this like mountain of Everest that is your goal. But that should not happen. Don't stay stuck, right? If you're alone, you usually start ruminating in your own mind, like, oh, am I being retarded? Should I change to something else? You always fall back into the mindset of being like a retard or insane, right? Or should I just keep pushing through? And if you're not sure, again, this uncertainty is going to build up if you're not able to clear it yourself. The easiest way to just clear it up, I found, is talk to other people working on the same goal or have already done it. You can quickly just ask them and they give you some ideas or give you an answer or tell you about the experience, and that just gives you the clarity that you need to keep moving forward. If you want a clarity like that, you're a business owner, you're working on your career, you're trying to go to your financial freedom, and you want people around you like that so you can just keep moving forward, then take a look at the top link in the description. It's something that might interest you. It's a free community that I have, which you can do exactly that, either work with me directly or ask other people just like you.